I had joined the Army and went immediately into flight school, the Warrant Officer Flight Training Program, and that was in December 1965. I graduated flight school December 66 and immediately went to Vietnam. And I flew UH-1s, which is called the Huey, which is the signature aircraft of the Vietnam War. And I flew Hueys there for a year. I turned 21 my first tour in Vietnam, and got my first Purple Heart when I was 21. I look around sometimes and I see 21-year-old people and I think, was I that ready as they are for what they did, or was I that experienced, was I that mature to be handled some of the tasks I had? Because I was an aircraft commander. I was in charge of a $1 million helicopter with a crew and a co-pilot and everything like that, and I think I handled it well, and I look back on it, how in the world did I do that? How did I get myself into it? And how did I survive? And I really appreciate the experience. It was first of all, you get the Purple Heart for minimum wounds or big wounds. I was more scared than hurt. There was more urine in my flight suit than there was blood on me. We were landing some troops in an LZ, and we landed in front of a 50 caliber machine gun. It opened up, chewed up the aircraft. And a little misnomer about bullets and helicopters and Purple Hearts, it wasn't the bullet that hit me. It was the shrapnel from the windscreen, from the instrument panel, and the plastic and everything that was flying around the cockpit. I got hit in the face, a leg, and the hands, but minor shrapnel wounds, and that was my first wound. I was in the northern part of the country, which was called First Corps or I Corps, a place called Chu Lai, which the Marines had built up, but they had moved further north on the other side of Da Nang, and we were about 40 miles south of Da Nang. But it was nice, right on the beach. Had a hooch that faced the ocean, could go swimming. It wasn't bad, because every morning you get a breakfast, and you probably had sea rations for lunch. If you got home in time, you got a warm meal and a dry bed. So I can't complain about the location. First time I got shot at, I didn't even know I was getting shot at. We were flying, and I was a co-pilot talking to the pilot in command and saying something. He says, "Shut up, we're getting shot at." And I don't know what I had a vision of getting shot at was like, but it was a clear day like today, and I kind of put my ear toward the window, and I could hear a little pop pop, rip rip pop pop, and there was small arms fire coming up. But it was during the day, and you couldn't see the tracers very well. And the Viet Cong and North Vietnamese used Soviet weapons and Soviet ammunition, and their tracers were green and yellow, where ours were red or orange. And I didn't know that either. So you couldn't see this stuff in the clear in the bright sunlight, and that was my introduction to getting shot at. Didn't even know what was happening. Going in, for all intents and purposes, I joined the Army as a teenager when I was 19. Graduated I was 20. Turned 21 my first tour in Vietnam, and it's kind of going in the military is a growing up process. Going to combat it takes it to another level of realizing who you are and how really scared you can get it sometimes, and what you can do and what you can't do, and understanding the definition of fear and friendship. If you're a professional in war, there's no hate. It's combat and you're fighting for your country. Now, maybe what's going on in Libya between Gaddafi's forces and the rebels, there might be a little hate going on, and that's where the atrocities come out. But professional armies fighting, I don't hear of any hate. There might be jokes, or there might be a little hoo-ah, rah-rah stuff go on, but I don't remember anybody ever saying, "I hate Ho Chi Minh," or "I hate the Viet Cong." Don't recall that. Well, I supported then, and to some degree I supported it. I still support it now, even though we left under less than winning circumstances. The American Army didn't lose the war, never lost the battle, but probably lost the overall conflict. Having said that, the domino effect did not really occur. The Vietnamese are friends of ours. There are issues left over from the war, but I think we left that area, probably looking back on it, their economy's starting to improve. We've opened an embassy there. So by leaving Vietnam, we probably did just as well if we might have won the war.